Good morning. I'm here to talk about the Witch's Pyramid. While I'm not Wiccan anymore, I still prescribe to this, or ascribe, only because I feel that it's a good moral base, I guess. Sort of like the Bible. I don't use the Bible, but it has wonderful teachings in it sometimes, for moral stuff. So if you're not familiar with the Witch's Pyramid, it is to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent. And so the first one, to know, for me is to learn everything you can. I am a huge reader, huge researcher. That's one of the things that got me on the path that I'm on now, is researching why Christians believe the way they do and then act so differently sometimes. Not all, you know. There are some good eggs and some bad eggs in every religion. So from a young age, even though I despised school, only because of the people in it, it got me into looking into things a little deeper than, I'm not a sheep, and I refuse to be a sheep. I lost my purple. Where's my purple? I don't know. Anyway, so if I'm interested in something, I learn everything I can about it before I start practicing, with the exception of witchcraft. That I'm learning along the way. And I don't think that path will ever be finished, I think that we need to continue to learn, to evolve, and not get stagnant, in our path. Keep your mind open to other possibilities also, don't get set in your ways. So that is to learn. And to will is, for me, a sense of knowing when to act, either magical or mundane, when to sit back and just chill, or whether you really need to pursue it intently. So sometimes we want to, take the back seat and just kind of let things play out. But you have to be, reading is wonderful and practicing is wonderful. You need to be able to grasp the ideas and put them into action. And that kind of brings me to the third one, which is to dare. Dare to be different. Dare to not be one of the sheep that follows. Break some boundaries, or bend them. My mother has always been pretty tolerant of my occult studies, so I didn't have to hide a ton growing up. I did kind of keep it on the down low until I moved out and, not performing rituals. I would sit in my room and do a candle spell, or do a little ritual for the Sabbath, or, but I never did a full circle and all that. In case she walked in, she would never understand all of that. And she still doesn't totally. But she knows it's not evil. I haven't changed at all. And she's been pretty good about it. And of course, my husband and my family are very supportive. They're not really into it, but I don't get crap about it either, so that's good. So I'm pretty much an open book as far as to Will goes and to Dare. I'm sure it's easier in the Northeast, where witches are very prevalent, to be able to be open about your path and to dare to be different, you know. We do have a lot of Christians in the area, but I guess it's not as ingrained as it is like in the Bible Belt area of the country. I've never been there other than to visit, so I don't think I'd ever do that to myself because I can't just be quiet about who I am and, you know, what I practice. So, I mean, I definitely have areas that, you know, if I go to the school, obviously I'm not gonna be one of those crazy people that I'm not gonna wear a big ass pentacle out. I have several small ones that I use, and once in a while I'll get questions, but not very often. People know me in town and know that I'm not crazy, so they just kind of take me as I am, which is nice. I live in a good area for that. And so the last one, to keep silent, I think that's the one I have the most trouble with. Oh my gosh. Here I am with the upper respiratory thing, having a cigarette. That's smart, right? I should know better. I do know better. Do I care? Not really. On to the next adventure, right? Like Captain Hook says, yeah, so to keep silent, to me, that means more of like when you do a spell, or to know when to step forward and be the black sheep and, you know, not act like the Romans. I do have Roman moments, you know, when you're out in the mundane life, you take the kids to school or whatever. Everybody in town knows that I'm pagan, which is fine. I used to be the witch bus driver, which was really cool. The kids would get excited once they got to know me in town. And my other town was the same way. You know, once they got to know me and knew that I wasn't some crazy lady going to eat them or put them in the oven to cook them for cookies, that I was just a very nice person that helps everybody as much as I can, and I just happen to be a witch. So I've always strived to put a good light on that, to act with integrity, to do the things that I say I'm going to do. You know, integrity is a huge thing these days. It seems like a lot of people forgot that. Honor, you know. So I try to, because I got a big mouth, I try to paint witches in the best light possible. Earth loving, animal loving, you know, the season centered practice that a lot of us practice. And I think that the more of us that do that, the better, to counteract kind of the Hollywood, although they've gotten better, the Hollywood pictures of us, you know. And a lot of people still don't understand how magic works. They think it's, you know, that we all think we wiggle our noses and our housework's done. Well, that would be amazing. It doesn't work that way. In fact, my daughter just got into The Secret and the Law of Attraction. And, you know, she grew up with me practicing the path. And I was like, yes, finally, you get it. This is magic. It's that your intention and your affirmations, and you're asking for things, and you're putting good energy out there. And that is a lot of spell work to me, is the intent and the drive behind the spell. So I was excited when she asked if I had ever read The Secret. Yeah, I read it. And The Law of Attraction by the Hicks. And just so much of that, you know. And so anyway, that is my take on the Witch's Pyramid. And I really, I think that it's important to sit and think about the kind of the mainstays of the craft and the pagan paths, and not only Wicca, but other Asatru and Hoodoo Voodoo. And, you know, there's a reason why these things have lasted through the years, is because it's a good moral standing, a good way to be, in my opinion. So I love you guys, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Witch's Pyramid, and if you ascribe to it. And yeah, so let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. Bye.